Let's talk about Social Security. You have been, of course, you're the president of Social Security Works. You've been paying careful attention to Donald Trump and Project 2025 and the people around him and what he's looking at and what he's talking about doing. And in fact, we had a caller in the previous hour who was like, I'm on Social Security and Medicare, and what's going to happen? So what's going to happen, Alex?
Oh, it's a tough one to predict the future, except that we know the Republicans don't have new ideas. So we just look at what they've done in the past, and I'm pretty confident in these predictions. They're openly saying that they're going to go after Medicaid, which is the largest provider of long-term care in this country, through the reconciliation process. That process allows them to pass something through the Senate with a simple majority. But there are restrictions to that. One of those restrictions is that it can't actually cut Social Security benefits. It is a little grayer on Medicare. There's a lot that they can do on Medicare that increases privatization of Medicare. But the real danger is that through reconciliation, they could set up the Cat Food Commission 2.0, with literally the richest man in the world at the head of it, saying that he's going to cut trillions of dollars out of, he's saying it's waste. What he means there is our Social Security benefits. Yeah. So a real danger is that reconciliation or some other trick is used to empower a smoky back room where they do cut our Social Security benefits, our Medicare benefits, and then empower that commission to pass with a simple majority, up or down vote, with fast track authority. So I know that's a lot, but we're going to have to monitor this at all stages and just expect all of our benefits to be under attack from day one. But I don't want people to throw up their hands like it's already done. Look, we've been fighting off attacks on Social Security and Medicare from all quarters for over a decade and a half. And what the armor we have and the fight back that we have is these programs are incredibly popular with everybody. In fact, Donald Trump ran on not cutting Social Security and Medicare. His plan on no taxes on Social Security was key to his campaign. He understands the power of Social Security. Now, obviously, we don't believe his promises, but we're going to hold him to that. And we're going to, our sort of watch phrase here, Tom, is sand in the gears and hasten the buyer's remorse. Remembering that nobody voted to cut Social Security. No Republicans, Independents, or Democrats. Nobody voted to cut Medicare. Nobody voted to raise their own drug prices. But that's exactly what the elected Republicans are going to try to do. So the fight back is get organized, get loud, and remind people every day that nobody voted to cut our earned benefits so the richest man in the world doesn't have to pay his fair share in taxes.
Yeah, and he only pays into Social Security on the first roughly $160,000 of his income every year. Alex, you'll recall back in the days when you and I were first getting to know each other, as I recall, 2005. It might have been a little later than that, but in 2005, George W. Bush had just gotten reelected, and he said, I earned some political capital in this election, and I'm going to use it. And what he meant was he had already gotten Medicare Advantage pushed through Congress, and up next was going to be Social Security Advantage. He didn't use that name, but basically that's what he was pitching, was that Wall Street would take over Social Security on a parallel track along with Social Security and give people the choice of either staying with traditional Social Security or going with this new privatized program where you could invest your retirement savings in the stock market, et cetera. And I would be surprised if we don't see that reprised. What say you? I don't recall, frankly, I'm not sure I ever knew exactly what Project 2025 had to say about this.
So a push towards privatization of Social Security is always in the cards when it comes to Republicans. But if you take that story of George W. Bush and you sort of rewind, watch the tapes, What happened then is he did a road show and sold his "I'm going to privatize Social Security," handed over to the billionaires on Wall Street. And every word he said about this, his numbers went down and down and down and down. At one point, the president of the union that represents municipal state employees asked me, said, we'd gladly pick up the tab for W. Bush's continued tour, because the more he talks, the less popular he becomes. And, in 2006, that was when they lost their unified power. So going after Social Security is always overreach. I sort of doubt, because of that, they're going to come at it through the front door. So I do think we're more likely to see a commission where they can put all of their bad ideas behind closed doors, out of the view of the public, and then try to ram it through with a procedural measure that protects them from having to hear from their constituents.
Well, that's what Reagan did. I mean, he raised the retirement age to from 65 to 67 and changed the cost of living adjustments, I believe, so that Social Security grew more slowly, and added and taxed your income from Social Security. Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah, and also he took Social Security away from firefighters, police officers, and many teachers, millions of public employees, which, by the way, is a little, if you're wondering what's going to happen, the 172 Republicans just voted to further that policy and attack public employees. So they are going to go at this again. They like to hold up the Greenspan Commission under Reagan as sort of like, oh, see, that was this bipartisan thing. The truth is that there's nothing similar now to then. So they're not in any way congruous. Right now, you just have. Basically, Reagan also put in place the 401k failed experiment, which just evaporated pensions for most workers. Right. So Social Security is in many ways the only thing left. More people depend on it. And also, the only quote unquote problems that Social Security has comes from the fact that a billionaire like Elon Musk only pays in on the first $168,800 of income and not a nickel after that. And all of the gains since the Reagan-Thatcher neoliberal, revolution have gone to the very rich above that income tax. So they're not paying into Social Security. And you don't have to trust me on it. The chief actuary of Social Security has laid out time and time again that rising inequality is the thing that they didn't predict. So the billionaires have caused the problem. The billionaires are why Social Security is facing trust fund depletion, which means an automatic 17% cut in a decade. It doesn't go away. It doesn't go bankrupt, but it is an automatic cut because the billionaires aren't paying into it. So the solution, as you know, Tom, is obviously you just get the billionaires to pay in at the same rate as the rest of us. Right. Unfortunately, the billionaires know that's the solution too. So they went all out this election. Elon Musk bought Twitter to get Donald Trump elected. And in payback, he's now in charge of the fiscal commission that's going to cut our Social Security and Medicare so that they don't have to pay their fair share in taxes. Again, our armor and our fight back is going to be that's a deeply unpopular position to take.
Alex, I was unfamiliar with the automatic 17% cut. We got about a little less than a minute and a half here before we hit a hard break. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, so what happened is in the 83 reforms, the baby boom generation started pre-funding their own retirement, and it filled up the trust fund, and that's exactly what it's supposed to do. And then the trust fund is spent down, which again is exactly what's supposed to happen. It was supposed to last to 2060, which is the lifespan of the baby boom generation. But we've lost 30 years of that to the rising inequality, because all of the gains have gone to people above that income tax, $168,800 right now. And so what happens when the trust fund is exhausted, when the trust fund comes down to zero, the benefits are paid for by current contributions. As long as there are workers in this country, Social Security cannot go bankrupt. It can't disappear.
Right.
But benefits will automatically match the revenue coming in. And currently what that means is in 2035, if Congress does nothing, the trust fund is exhausted, benefits match revenue, which will cover 83% of...
That's just 11 years from now.
Yes, in just over a decade, an automatic 17% benefit cut unless we get billionaires to pay the same rate as the rest of us on all of their income.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you for that. Thank you for the explanation. And get over to socialsecurityworks.org and sign up. Get on their mailing list. Alex, thanks so much for dropping by. Always great talking to you.
Great talking to you, Tom. Thanks.
And you can follow Alex over on Blue Sky. We'll be back. It's 18 minutes past the hour. Back with more of the news in just a moment.